Ray, I gotta get out with the gun. I'm not doing anything. Look, I'm not doing. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. I'm not.
Shoot.
Don't shoot.
Don't. Drop the gun.
I don't have it. Look. I don't have it. I don't have it. Shots fired. The guy has a gun over here.
All right, so the shot you heard fired was fired by the officer, but again, no one was hit. Joining me now tonight, former NYPD homicide detective and host of Off the Cuff, the podcast, Bill Cannon, back with us tonight. Detective, this was pretty chilling to watch, and the way the officer acted certainly seems to be a great example of what cops are dealing with here today. I mean, there were points of this where the suspect had the gun pointing it right at him. It's scary to see, and he even said at one point, "I'm going to shoot you."
Yeah, you know, this is disturbing to watch. I think the officer unnecessarily imperiled his own life. He should have used deadly physical force. As soon as that guy pointed the gun at him, he knew the guy had a gun early in this encounter. Don't wait till he pulls it out. Terminate. You know, because he could have been killed. And it's really disturbing to watch. And a lot of this has to do with the unwillingness or the second guessing of officers across this nation because of something used to be known as the Ferguson effect or the Chauvin effect. Officers are afraid to use deadly physical force even when it's warranted.
Boy, and if this were a case of it ever, as you watch this video, and I think we'll get to see it again here, I mean, I wondered if the officer had his gun pulled because it looked like maybe he hadn't pulled it out of his holster at this point. Look at that. He's pointing it right at the officer, but I guess he did have it out. But it certainly makes you wonder. He's begging with this guy, please don't do this.
You know, from so many ways, this is horrendous. I mean, first of all, the job is a burglary. And just upon getting to that floor, he should have his gun out because that's a potentially violent crime there, a burglary, someone breaking into an apartment. So tactically, there's so many things wrong with this. It's chilling for me to watch this. And he sees the gun. He's got something heavy in his right side pocket that appears to be a gun right there. Or, you know, he should have his gun in the guy's face. It's ridiculous.
Wow. Yeah, it is certainly chilling. And again, I guess the good news is no one in the end was hurt. But, man, that's hard to watch. You're right. We have another piece of videotape we wanted to show you. This is up in your neck of the woods there. Actually, an officer in the Bronx on a traffic stop gets dragged and run over. Let's watch that.
Oh, no.
So the officer suffered a fractured ankle, but was okay. And you'll see her get up here. The car had been pulled over for expired temporary plates. But detective, this shows that, I mean, there's really no such thing as a routine traffic stop.
No, there isn't. But I'm bothered by the tactics in this stop. The tactics are poor because the first thing you should tell someone when you pull them over is to turn the car off, put the keys on top of the dashboard. This way, they have no way that they can run you over because the car's not running. You know, that should be the first thing you say, especially when it's potentially a felony car stop. You don't play games with this stuff. And also, she had her body planted inside the car. That's a real bad idea in any circumstance.
Yeah. Let's talk about defunding the police, Detective, because there are a lot of cities that are now rethinking the idea. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is now asking the feds for help, requesting ATF for 6 months to try to ramp up the number of gun investigations and seizures, more federal prosecutors as well, and also federal marshals. Is this unusual, and how would it work if they were to come into Chicago?
You know, I think it has to do with a lot of the incompetence of a lot of these politicians thinking that they could get away with defunding the police and crime is not going to go up. You know, the people that should be doing the crime fighting in these areas are the police and not the feds. The feds come in, they don't know the area. They don't know how to police the area. They don't know the community. So to ask them to do the job that the police should be doing is ridiculous. And it's all on the politicians. Defunding the police is a horrendous idea. And now, what, a year later, they're realizing it? And because election time is next November. Is that what's coming to this aha moment that, oh, maybe defunding the police was a bad idea? It's a ridiculous idea.
Well, the other side effect of this, or the byproduct, if you will, is that, as we reported recently, 1,000 cops are set to retire or resign in Chicago. Homicides are up, and this is the first indication, or a clear shift anyway, and an admission, I guess, from the mayor that the city needs help.
You know, Joe, the biggest problem also is cops arrest people, and the district attorney's office posture these days is not to prosecute. So if there's no teeth in the law, the criminal element loses all respect for the police because they're going to get arrested. There's going to be a revolving door. This reminds me of the NYPD in 1985 when I first came on the job. There was like a revolving door. So many people were getting arrested, but they weren't being prosecuted and incarcerated. If there's no teeth in the law, then perpetrators are emboldened, like you see in these smash and grab robberies, like you see in the escalation of homicides across this nation, because there's no teeth and there's no prosecution.
Well, there's another situation in Burlington, Vermont, which cut 30% of its police force. And a year and a half later now, basically, Detective, no one's happy about it. And officers left in droves. They thought maybe with attrition it would take a year or years. It happened in months. And now there's an outcry for more police, and they're paying officers, I guess, $10,000, the remaining officers, to stay on the job.
You know, if police officers these days are unhappy, they can go to other departments. I mean, Florida is recruiting people from all over the nation. There's departments all over this country that appreciate their police. When you get these woke communities that come up with these ridiculous ideas like defunding the police, and then 6 months or a year later, they go, oh my God, that wasn't a smart idea, was it? No, it wasn't. And now guess what? November's coming, and all of a sudden it's occurred to you because election time is coming up, and you're going to be held accountable.
Well, we'll see what happens, but it's definitely something a lot of folks are watching. People want reform. I think that's we can all agree on, but people also want to feel safe, and I think they want more police as well, and a lot of cities are hearing it and making changes as a result. Former NYPD homicide detective, that's Bill Cannon, and also I want to give you a plug for the Off the Cuff podcast as well. Bill, good to see you. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Joe. Pleasure to be on.
Take care. Quick update now.